Welcome back to Shimmering Skies, one of the most Skyblocks that exists in Terraria. In the last episode, I unlocked some new biomes, died to Queen Bee, died to Skeletron, died to Queen Bee again, died to Skeletron again, and decided to wrap things up by dying to the Wall of Flesh a few times. On the bright side, all this death led to me eventually defeating all of those bosses and unlocking hard mode at the end of the episode. Hard mode in Skyblocks is surprisingly a lot safer than in traditional worlds. The fact that there's no caves you need to fight through means I die a lot less often than I normally would. But while it may be safer, I wouldn't go as far as saying it's easier. The first thing I do after shimmering my emblem is take down some spiders to craft the only sentry I'll be able to use on this world, which is quite a relief after my last playthrough. I'll also craft a full set of spider armour and a spider staff. This summoner loadout will be invaluable throughout early hard mode while I level up my other class options, but I'd prefer to use any other class for boss fights themselves, as Summoner suffers from a slight lack of defense that quickly becomes apparent in Legendary mode. I start off my grind by taking down enemies at my jungle farm, hoping to get some hard mode mimic drops. While doing this, I find the wizard and buy his crystal ball. Unlocking the wizard also means the witch doctor will now sell bewitchment tables, and I buy 2 of these so I can shimmer one into an alchemy table for that sweet reduced potion cost. The next few hours are spent farming various enemies and using their drops to make myself more powerful and less prone to death. Included in this is crafting both a Star Veil and Charm of Myths, which I also have to take through the laborious process of crafting and decrafting to get warding on them. Next up, I build another fishing spot and plant down some hallowed seeds I bought from the Dryad. Fishing here proves to be quite dangerous, with hallowed mimics frequently causing a premature end to my sessions. Regardless, this was successful enough to unlock a hard mode anvil from crate drops, and puts me well on my way to some hard mode armour. I just have to fish a little more. Okay, maybe a lot more, but at least I can also fish up some ebb and koi for wrath potions after I buy corrupt seeds from the Dryad during a blood moon. After another hour of fishing, I take a break to fight some wyverns to upgrade my wings. The low gravity and the fact that flying off screen kills me makes this quite a challenge. At least by now I'd collected enough mithril for a full set of mage armour though, which made farming the pixie dust for fairy wings much less painful. I do try out some blood moon fishing in the middle of this, which goes about how you'd expect. Once I've collected enough pixie dust, I return to farming wyverns to get the souls of flight for my wings. These are a massive upgrade over the fledgling ones I've been using up to now, and fills me with the confidence I need to take on my first boss. But not before I go on yet another tangent to set up a glowing mushroom biome. I gather up some potions and head to my hallowed biome to summon Queen Slime, and quickly find out why I shouldn't have after not 1, not 2, but 3 biome mimics spawn. I managed to take down the first, but while trying to flee the other 2, my skull gets crushed. Rather annoyingly, this attempt uses up the last of my deathweed, and as with Moonglow earlier in this world, I also have no seeds to grow more. To fix this, I build a few layers of corrupt grass on the surface where herbs grow faster, and spend multiple hours waiting for deathweed to grow. Side note, deathweed will not grow on corrupt grass in Crimson Worlds, so this entire setup proves to be rather pointless, a fact which I won't learn for quite some time. While the deathweed doesn't grow in the background, I build out an arena in the ocean for Duke Fishron. The surface in this map is incredibly short, and going too high will result in low gravity and death, while going too low results in Duke enraging and also death. This means my arena has to be rather small vertically, so I try to make up for this by making it as wide as possible horizontally. All this preparation really pays off when I defeat Duke Fishron in the first try with no potions. He just got lucky with that one. I'm sure the next attempt will be much better. Well, the first 2 might have failed, but you know what they say. Third time lucky, right? Well, it's quite obvious that Duke won't be the first hard mode boss to fall. So I switch gears and build a platform across hell while suffering from a serious case of deja vu. I'm going to need this later on in the playthrough when I try to take on the monstrosity that is Mechdusa, a fight which I am absolutely terrified of. While Legendary mode may make the mechs much more mighty, it also allows me to obtain certain materials that usually wouldn't be possible in Skyblock, or at least which would be much harder to get. The best example of this is the Jungle Mimic. This rare mob drops mostly joke items when killed, but I'm less interested in its drops and more in its vomit. This attack will spray out a collection of random blocks that includes most variants of stone, wood, sand, sandstone, and some other random blocks like red brick and silt. More interestingly though, this list of blocks also includes smooth marble and smooth granite blocks, making those biomes possible in Skyblock. There's not much I can get from these however, as they're predominantly pre-hard mode biomes. Although interestingly, this does make gladiator armour a viable option as the only way to get knockback immunity in the map. A potentially much more useful biome is the ice biome, as the mimic also spits out ice, ice brick, snow and snow brick. Aside from fighting the Frost Legion at Christmas, this is the only way to get a snow biome pre-Moonlord. That's right, we've come full circle from harvesting antlion vomit to make a desert biome, to harvesting jungle mimic vomit to make a snow biome. Skyblock truly is a riveting experience. Each time the mimic attacks, only a few blocks are harvested, so this project will tick away in the background while I work on other things. Other things includes, but is not limited to, farming mobs for mechanical boss summons, searching for gelatin crystals in my underground hallowed, fighting the wall of flesh to get another emblem, having Queen Slime ghost me halfway through a second date, and immediately dying when she tries to sit on my face during our fourth. Since I wasn't having any luck with Queen Slime or Duke Fishron, I decided to try my luck against Mechdusa. The fight was going reasonably well until I got to the end of my railway, and with another few attempts I probably could take it down. However, the Mechdusa summons are incredibly costly, as my only way to get mechanical skulls is to hope they drop from enemies at a rate of 1 in 2,500. That meant it was back to Queen Slime attempts, and thankfully I was able to kill her twice the next day, giving me a full set of Crystal Assassin armour as another option. I tried to use this against Duke Fishron, thinking the longer dash might allow me to dodge a little better, and it did, allowing me to survive a grand total of 10 seconds instead of 3. It's shortly after this that I finally realised my surface corruption will never grow Deathweed, so I replace it all with Crimson and summon the Goblin army while waiting for the next full moon or blood moon. My reason for fighting the goblins was to get the Shadow Flame knife. By switching to melee I was hoping I'd be able to survive a few more hits against the beefed up bosses, and this weapon is one of the best for early hard mode warriors. I get it on my first try and then get started on a set of armour with more defence, which means I am once again back on that fishing grind. But hey, it wouldn't be a Skyblock without an excessive amount of fishing for crates, would it? 30 minutes of fishing later it's a full moon, so I head to my newly formed Surface Crimson and find the much needed Deathweed seeds. With the help of my Axe of Regrowth I'll be able to take this small amount of seeds and turn it into more Deathweed than I could hope to use in one playthrough. I went back to fishing for crates before realising a much faster way to get these was to use lava fishing. Now while this is definitely slower than water fishing per catch, it comes with the unique benefit that every single crate I reel in is able to obtain either titanium or adamantite bars, meaning I don't waste crate rolls on pearlwood and mithril crates which cannot contain these. With this strategy I quickly amass enough bars to craft a full set of adamantite armour, taking my defence from 72 all the way to 86 without buffs. I'm pretty much as ready as I can be to fight Mechdusa now, but have a distinct lack of mechanical skulls. My first attempt to collect some more was farming lava slimes in Hell. The inner thirds of Hell have the advantage of only spawning lava slimes and mimics, which are both quite easy to deal with compared to the biomimics and rune wizards you'd find in other biomes. While this would definitely work to get the mechanical skull to drop sometime in the next few decades, it was by no means efficient. Which is why it was incredibly lucky that literally a day before recording this segment, a guide was put out on the Terraria forums for an incredibly fast mob farm. The farm is so fast in fact that instead of making this video, I took a break to make a video tutorial on how to build it. So I won't go into the build details in this one. All you need to know is that I built it and spent around 7 hours AFKing at it, where I collected almost 3 full stacks of spider fangs, over 800 fried eggs, sold multiple hundreds of poison staffs, and most importantly, gathered up 13 mechanical skulls. A neat little side effect of this is that as long as I'm not reckless, I'll never have to farm money again in this playthrough. Without further ado then, let's get straight into some Mechdusa attempts. This playthrough was my first interaction with the boss, and it's exactly as terrifying as I had imagined. On my first attempt I managed to deal quite a lot of damage to the destroyer's coiled up tail using the flying knife, but ultimately the sheer number of lasers combined with my lack of knockback immunity was my downfall. On the next attempt I actually managed to take down the destroyer, but the twins and Skeletron Prime soon avenge it. Thankfully defeating any individual boss will still drop a treasure bag, so I used the destroyer's drops to craft a light disc before my next attempt. I once again take down the destroyer, but once again fail to defeat either of the remaining 2 bosses. With the new influx of Souls of Might I craft the Mega Shark and pivot to a ranged loadout. but the lower defence heavily punishes any bad dodges I make, leading to 3 more deaths in a row. I switch back to melee and take down the destroyer once again, then continue dodging and somehow take down the twins as well. With these bosses and all of Skeletron's arms destroyed, the remainder of the fight is actually super easy, and before long Mechdusa has been defeated. With that, there's only a handful of bosses standing between me and the Moonlord, but to see me take those on you'll need to wait for the next episode. Or if you're enjoying the series and want to support the channel, you can join my Patreon where the final episode will be available as soon as this one is made public. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.